If any name comes to mind when we talk about innovation, risk-taking, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible, it's undoubtedly the super Elon Musk. But what exactly drives this billionaire? How does he think, and what can we learn from his unique approach to problem-solving in business? In today's video, we'll uncover the principles that guide his visionary thinking. Keep watching. Who is Elon Musk? One of the greatest minds of the 21st century, Elon Musk is not only a genius who learned rocket science without a degree, but also one of the most influential personalities in the world. Currently number 3 on the Forbes real-time billionaires list, Elon owns 6 companies, including X, formerly Twitter, The Boring Company, Neuralinks, Tesla, SpaceX, and XAI. Since he got into the industry, growth has rapidly accelerated. Competitors don't want to be left behind, so they have to keep up. He's an interesting character, but all people ever talk about are his big wins. Everyone always seems to forget about his journey and how he made the impossible become possible. Number 1. Visionary thinking. One thing I took note of after learning about Elon's story was the fact that he's a visionary thinker. He has long-term goals and doesn't accept conventional ideas without challenging them. For instance, take a look at the Mars mission of SpaceX. The thought of humans setting up a civilization on Mars and becoming a multi-planetary species has always been wishful thinking in our heads up until 2016. Elon entered the picture and announced that he was establishing the SpaceX Mars program. If we're being honest, the radiation on that planet is more than any human can bear. But that's the point. If it's not a difficult challenge, it's not worth Elon's time. Elon is also a risk-taker. His approach always seems reckless and unreasonable at first, but his ambitious goals have gotten him to where he is today. There was a time when the automobile industry avoided electric vehicles because they were too much trouble and simply not worth the risk. Back then, you could only use EVs for concepts or individual motor designs because they were too expensive to be mass-produced. Elon dared to be different even when the market was skeptical. Remember our previous video on why dumb people make more money than smart people? If not, you should check it out. Well, Elon isn't a dumb person, but he was definitely acting like one during that period. In the video, we said that dumb people hit big wins because they never completely process the different possible outcomes that might come after making their crazy decisions. Elon probably thought about it, and even though he saw that the odds were against him, he still went ahead with his plans. The auto industry must have laughed at him, but by the time he was done, he had the last laugh. You might be wondering, but how did he make it happen? The answer isn't too far off. As I mentioned earlier, Elon never accepts conventional ideas without challenging them. He took his time and checked how much the batteries were worth. After that, he carefully assessed the raw materials used to make them. It wasn't long before he realized that batteries don't have to be that expensive to be effective. There are cheaper alternatives, and even though the answers were right before us, no one else could see them except Elon. Now Tesla is making a ton of electric vehicles and has surpassed industry giants like Toyota and General Motors. And because Tesla's competitors don't want to miss out on the new gold mine, the whole industry is making EVs now. Number 2. Problem-solving approach. Elon has always done things differently, but during an interview, he admitted that he has a tactic for success. This guy has used it several times and has applied it to a number of big projects. His solar panels, brain tech, vehicles, and rockets are all products of the approach that is still working for him. He calls it reasoning from first principles. Make sure you write that down. Most problems that we deal with are pretty complex. Simple-minded individuals give up the moment things aren't going their way. But even if you're smart enough to stick around, sheer resilience won't cut it. You need to be able to make things easier by breaking them down into their simplest units. After breaking problems down into simple principles, Elon creates new solutions and ideas from the ground up. It sounds like a piece of cake, but it's more tasking than you can imagine. It's especially difficult when everyone is against you and telling you that your plan can't work. But you need to ignore the noise and make a move. This is what sets the top earners apart. The 1% have an unusual amount of money in their names, but to make that kind of money, you have to be ready to do things others aren't on board with. If you want to learn more about it, make sure you check our video on how to get ahead of 99% of people. Elon also has a track record for an iterative approach to development and continuous improvement. It's the reason he has made so much progress even though he's just 52. I mean, in 2008, Tesla released the Roadster, its first electric vehicle. But Elon didn't stop there and went on to do something crazy with rockets. SpaceX made the first vertical soft landing of a reusable orbital rocket stage in 2015. Now, space travel isn't so expensive anymore. The industry didn't think it was possible, but Elon beat the odds. Number 3. Business and management philosophy. Elon's hands-on leadership is one of his best features. He handles his business well and is quick to admit his mistakes. In 2018, something happened when Tesla was developing its Model 3 vehicle. Earlier, Elon had announced that Tesla would produce 2,500 vehicles every week. Hearing this, a lot of clients from around the world had pre-ordered the Model 3 and were expecting them. When things didn't go as planned, Elon didn't try to cover it up or put the blame on anyone else. He came forward and said that his robots were the cause of the delay. Elon tweeted, "Yes, excessive automation at Tesla was a mistake. To be precise, my mistake. Humans are underrated." He and others had discovered that the complex network of conveyor belts they had at the factory was not working, so they had to get rid of them. It's hard to think that robots, which are supposed to make things easier, were the ones causing the delay. He admitted that they needed more humans working on the production lines, and at some point, he had to spend his nights at the factory, resting in a sleeping bag. His management skills and the way he handled that situation were just very impressive. The billionaire also fosters a culture of innovation at his companies. Even though he comes up with the most unbelievable ideas, it's safe to say that he has a pretty decent winning streak. He has built trust, and that is why everyone who works with him is ready to entertain his ideas. For example, open sourcing Tesla's patents to accelerate electric vehicle adoption was necessary and simply a genius move. And that's a wrap. What aspect of Elon Musk's thinking inspires you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.